Well, thanks for being here. Good way to start the season, obviously, with a win. I said it after the game, but when you take a minute to reflect on just how much work from December into where we are here today, to walk away with a win in the first one is, certainly reassuring and I think a great, just great way to start the season. Just a huge thank you to all the staff, a huge thank you to just everybody that helped assemble this staff, and not only staff, but also this program at this moment. So a good win, but obviously we got a tough opponent coming to town. I'm excited to be here for my first game in a sold-out crowd, and excited to get going. We had a great practice this morning, and ready to get to work.
Coach, as you looked at the film, did it kind of go as you thought it went when you kind of broke everything down? Is it kind of what you thought it would be?
Yeah, it definitely was. I think, and what was more, reassuring again, I think, was the fact that what the adjustments we were able to make. We saw it pretty clearly on offense what was happening. I think our coaches saw it pretty clearly on defense what was happening. And then when we got into halftime, we were able to make a couple little adjustments, and we were able to in the second half of that second quarter. But then we're able to sit down, have a little more time, to just go through it all and build the next plan. And I thought that went really, really well. I thought they did a great job. They were a very good football team. When you look across that defensive line, there's a lot of high-caliber football players on that defensive line. That corner is as good as probably any will play. And their scheme was very different on defense than anything they showed us up to this point in time. Offensively, they were pretty much what we had prepared for. And then we thought the quarterback would get out a little more. He didn't get out too much, and I thought we did a nice job of getting the running back on the ground. But there was moments where we were giving up things sort of on purpose. We were okay with it. If they were going to eat that much clock, throwing 5-yard hitches into the boundary, we were good with that. We didn't want to give up the big one. So I thought everything was well orchestrated in the second half. We did what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, and I thought it all showed up just like we thought when we looked at the film.
Were you awful proud of your guys battling through some adversity? Because, again, you just didn't know how they'd react when the lights were on and you were playing somebody else. Did that kind of bear that everything that you've been doing has been the right thing up to this point?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think nobody wavered. We talked about at the beginning, communicate, pursue the football, right? We have to communicate on pre-snap every single down. We got to communicate through the down. We have to pursue the football. And then we got to go back and just continue to repeat that over and over and over again. Just communicate and pursue and repeat it. And that I thought we did a good job. We stayed focused on the mission. And I thought, I don't think anybody felt like adversity. I think everybody knew we just need to get it clicking. We knew we were close, and we just need to get it clicking, and that's what we did.
I'm curious how you're going to go about cleaning up some of the X on kick coverage. It can be difficult to mimic in practice. What do you seem to?
Yeah, definitely. And you're exactly right. That is hard to do at full speed in practice. But there's just one simple thing we could do, and I don't want to talk a lot about it, but there's one thing that if we just adjust this one thing, we're going to be just fine. And that's exactly what we're capable of doing here. I thought, but no way to throw his body around like he did. I don't know if you went back and watched that film. There's a lead blocker and the returner, and it opened up in the middle, and he just went I've never seen a kicker do that before, flying into the lead blocker, which took out the returner behind. But without that, they're probably scoring on that play. So, I thought he did a really good job when he was in there for that. And then, obviously, we got to get the ball at the back of the end zone, which we're capable of doing. We just need to trust Cristiano. He's got to do his job and do it well this week, and he's off to a good start.
And like you said, Charlotte's defensive line proved to be a pretty solid test for the offensive line. Yes. What are some of the things you want to clean up for next week?
Well, we just got to make sure we point the right thing, right? Like as far as when you run a run play, you ID a certain way, and you understand how the leverage of those blocks are working towards. And they were rocking back quite a bit. There was a couple things they were doing that we weren't, we didn't see previously. So we had to just adjust that. Once we did that, we were fine. So I thought we played a nice game up front. It just didn't look like that up front because there was a free hitter showing up almost on every play, and that's not on our guys. That's on us as coaches, and I thought we did a good job of cleaning that up really quickly.
And my last one, as far as the running back rotation, do you feel like those were kind of the way you want to split the carries? You kind of got to get out of the system.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. I think we're gonna just feed a hot hand as it shows up, but you won't see it, on film unless you really go back and watch it. But I think Io ended up with like 15 missed tackles that he ran through. So there was another guy that showed up right away after that, and he just played physical. He played hard, and George is patient. He's got twitch to him, and he can go. Wayne the same thing, and then Tyler is just recklessly downhill, and that's a cool thing to watch in moments when we're going to need that. So I think they're all very, very capable, and I thought they did a decent job. We just got to open it up a little more. We had a great start to the week, and we just got to make sure that shows up on Saturday.
Throughout the preseason, you guys really talked about how much you wanted to rotate guys in and out, especially kind of the wide receivers and the pass catchers. And you had 7 different players catch a pass, several of them with their long over 15 yards. What's it like as a coach to kind of see that come into fruition?
Well, that's what we want to do. Again, we ran this 2-huddle system for the entire camp because we wanted to make sure people got real reps, not like just, hey, I'll get some side rep, 3 at practice, 6 at practice. We want to make sure they got real reps. So every rep our 1s took, our 2s also took, and vice versa down to the 3s and 4s. So there's a lot of people that know what they're doing and are capable of doing it. I love watching the offensive line. Sub through 9 different offensive linemen played. The defensive line, we probably had 12 different guys play, or 10 or 12. A bunch of linebackers played, DBs played. If you can do that and there not be a big drop-off, you can get to that fourth quarter like every guy on that team that you would talk to in that hot, like humid, tough day, they're all ready to play another half, and they had no issue playing another half. And that's what we want to do as we go through this. We want to get stronger, be stronger longer than the teams that we're playing. I think that's what this set up for.
When it comes to your receivers, too, what's it like to know that you didn't even use Taji and Dylan, and you still have them kind of in that arsenal?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to know that. And I think we got to find roles to get them the ball, I think, and we will do that. Ymir as well. Ymir had 1 target, had a great block on Zoe's big run, and he's done a great job. Wait till he catches the ball a couple times. He's going to be, very excitable to watch, and I think there's other guys in there, too, that, we're soon to hear from.
Looking ahead to this week in Gardner-Webb, in your career, back when you were at Holy Cross, you coached in plenty of FCS versus FBS teams, always as the FCS team going into the FBS opponent's stadium. What is it like kind of to be on the inverse of that and now be, the FBS team that's hosting an FCS school?
Yeah, I think, you depends on how you look at it, I guess. I loved going in there because you have nothing to lose. And we beat UConn, we beat Buffalo, we almost beat BC last year, and we were, an inch away from beating BC on a quarterback run down the sideline that just stepped out of bounds for the game winner. And we were 2 inches away at, stopping Army on 4th and 3 to get the ball back and go score. So I loved that challenge of going in there. The message was very clear this morning with our team. I went back to 2000 and don't even remember what year that was, but I think it was 2002, and we had beaten UConn for the first ever time at Holy Cross, and a replay of a D tackle catching a pass and interception and scoring showed up, all over the highlights that night. It showed up through the week. We got to Thursday. He was still doing interviews about the play he had the week before. And then you got to College Game Day that morning, and there's his play on College Game Day opening, role of College Game Day. And we were playing what was a team that just turned from Division II up to FCS, and we had just beaten UConn, and we lost that weekend. So I put that on the board. We made sure we understand it. We made sure that we understood exactly, there is no room for anything here except for to be the best Tuesday of your life, to have that best Tuesday of your life today, which we did. And then tomorrow to have the best Wednesday of our life that we possibly can, and roll that into Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And it doesn't matter any of the outside excitement, negativity, whatever that comes our way, should be emotionless to us. We should be about the work and about the business and about what we got to do. And that's exactly what our guys did today. And we just got to do a whole lot more of it as we roll through this week. But we are overlooking 0 people. This is the only game we could play this weekend. This is our Super Bowl just as much as it's their Super Bowl. And when people say that, it's their Super Bowl. It's ours too, right? Every single game is ours. So we have to attack every day like that, and we will do just that.
What do you see specifically with Gardner-Webb? I know they have a new head coach, new quarterback. The quarterback led his previous program to the FCS quarters a couple years ago. Just kind of what do you see from them when you flip on the tape?
I think that they're very good. I think this quarterback's very good with the football. That offensive coordinator doesn't get into bad plays. He doesn't just call plays randomly. He's very good, and they do a lot of check stuff, check with me to the sideline, and whatever look they're getting, they're able to adjust and get into the right call. They do a really good job of it. The receiver started at Auburn. Their tailback started football, was the starting running back at Temple. at one point. So these guys are no joke, right? And then when you get to defense, they're exotic as can be. They do a ton of different things and blitzes, and they're pressure all over the place. And probably the best guy on their team is their return kid, number one. They're specialists. So, and they'll try to block punts. They'll bring corner fires. They'll move pre-snap every single play. There's a whole lot in here that we already are preparing for and have prepared for today. But there's a whole lot that we got to attack on these guys because they are very good at what they do. So this team is a real team, and I'm excited to get to Saturday and compete.
I know you were asked after the game on Saturday just kind of about your aggressiveness on some of those fourth downs and going for it. Is that something that's a game-by-game, situation-by-situation? I'm curious, like, how much does analytics play a role in some of those decisions, or is it strictly a feel thing?
I mean, analytics will tell us what we should do. It said to, might have said opposite in one or two of those situations, and that's got to be a feel thing for us, right? We'll use what they feel are the statistics, but we have to also, trust our players and, trust our hearts at that moment and make sure that we're doing the right thing for the program. In game one, on the road, inside the 5-yard, I've been part of many games where we've walked away with only field goals and lost the game because of that. So at that moment, to put that trust upon the offensive line and upon the offense in general and say we're going for it, and you want to go for it, we want to go for it, let's do this. That's really important. Now, the lesson learned from it for them is when we say it and we have an executable play, we got to execute it. George was wide open on the pass we threw into the corner end zone. We just got tipped, right? So we got to work an arm angle around that ball, but that's a tough one to do. That kid didn't rush at all. He stayed at the line of scrimmage and actually backed up a yard and was exactly in the throwing lane. Any penetration at all from that kid rushing the passer, it's a touchdown. And then when the Logan in the corner, he had it. He just didn't survive the ground with it. So I thought we had two good plays called. We had two plays that we easily could have executed and, just came up a little short. But it wasn't like we were so far off that Zoe was scrambling around, had nowhere to go with the football. We looked like we didn't know what we were doing. We were exactly where we were supposed to be with the ball. We just got one tipped, and the other one he had just couldn't survive the ground with it. So I liked the two play calls. I liked where we were at, and I thought we did a good job. We want to get a little closer, so maybe sometimes we could run that ball and put ourselves in that position too. So that is a game by game, but ultimately I liked what we did there, and I want to make sure that they know that we trust them.
I also want to follow up a little bit on the running back room. I know one of the main things in the second half was Zoe scrambling a little bit more on the runs, and the running back position, first half 1.5 yards a carry, second half 4. Kind of what is it for you that kind of gets you excited when you have a mobile quarterback that allows more opportunities for your running back group to excel?
Yeah, a lot. When you have to factor in the quarterback into the run game, it's a different ball game, right? When you have to factor that in, it just changes everything. You're playing 11 on 11 now, right? Not 10 on 11. And I like, what that opportunity brings us. Just like we were talking about with Charlotte going into the week. Like they play 11 on 11. Sometimes they read a front side guy. So whatever he does is wrong. It's really 11 for them, 10 on us at that point. So we can flip the script a little bit and do some of that as well. So Zoe's very capable. You watch him run. He's very quick. He has great vision. He protects the football and does a whole lot of really good things. His deep ball right now is as clean as any I've seen, and he's accurate with it and turns it over nice. And there's a whole lot in there that gives our receivers a chance downfield to compete for. So I like where he's at in a lot of different ways, and I like where the running backs are at, the O-line, and we're only going to get better. The biggest improvement you can make is from game 1 to game 2. But when you drill a little further down into that within game 1, that's your first opportunity to make those improvements from game, quarter or half 1 to half 2. And we did that. So if we make those kind of adjustments from half 1 to half 2, I'm excited to see what we do from game 1 to game 2.